Well, no surprise here to see Indiana Jones 5 creeping up and being disliked by the critics, along with Disney having to soak in the bath of what they've created here. $300 million down the drain into Indiana Jones 5 for the long awaited send off Harrison Ford has been waiting to do for the character. Once again, we see another character that Harrison Ford brought life going to be completely killed on the big screen. Well, at the critics' rating of 49% out of the gate for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, if I'm sitting there as a Disney executive, I would be worried, but they must not, because their executives are the ones that are pushing this forward. They're pushing forward the narrative and just ruining another franchise with the outdated version of Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones. You know, Kingdom and the Crystal Skull wasn't the greatest movie, and it sounds like this one won't be any better. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull did make money, but it took about 30% of its budget to actually make that cash. And with this version of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, they have spent 300 million onto this into this budget, meaning are they projecting a $2 billion reap back? Because if you look at the original numbers for the first four movies, got here a total of $281 million spent and a worldwide box office reap of $1.9 billion over the course of four movies. So you got to think they're now spending more money than ever. They're spending more money than the first four movies combined on this movie. So are they looking at $2 billion worldwide box office coming back? I highly doubt it, especially when the critics are sitting here saying 49% of them are saying, yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up. It's a Disney made LucasArts film. It doesn't have Spielberg behind it. It doesn't have the directors. The story's written by Jonathan Kasdan, who also has written the Willow story that came out on Disney Plus that has now been completely removed off Disney Plus. Solo, a Star Wars story, the Star Wars follow-up after Rogue One that completely tanked and I would imagine lost money, considering they had a similar budget of about $300 million. So we will have to wait to see where this one lies with the writing of it, but it does not sound good. Especially when you look at the critics here. We've got the first one off. This is not my Indiana Jones. It's disappointing facility of a much better Indiana Jones films than that preceded it. What's vexing is nagging feeling that there's a much better Indiana Jones buried in there somewhere, but it would require a feat of archaeology or at least a rewrite for some judicious ending to excavate it. And they gave it a thumbs up. Are you kidding me? That is a scathing review. This movie is absolutely going to tank. It's another black eye for Disney movies. And you know what? This is Harrison Ford. I feel bad for Harrison Ford because now he's putting his namesake to this fifth movie that he's 78, turned 80 now. It's going to leave a black eye. This is how he's going out now on this. You know, the guy that was just sitting there on set as a prop hand, as a hand on set, picks up the hat and the whip, and George Lucas went, "That's our Indiana Jones." That's how the guy got his break, and now this is where he's leaving his mark on the industry. How many more movies does the guy got? I don't see him really standing up for too many more movies out there. Now he's just an icon of what he once was, and it's a real shame that this is how he's going to go out of the industry. Like, even IGN is coming out here on this one saying, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny review, we didn't realize how good we had it with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull wasn't the greatest storyline. There was a lot of nuance with it. It had Shia LaBeouf, which just kind of, it felt like they were going to pass the torch to Shia LaBeouf, and they never did. And part of that was because a lot of people didn't take the reception of Shia LaBeouf in that movie very well. They just felt he was a little bit he it was a little too much, too much character for the gritty Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones: Dial of Destiny is very much about trying to recapture the series' lost spark, both with its filmmaking and within the world of its story. But these impulses are set at odds. It's the tale of a former adventurer who needs to stop living in the past, but only way it works is by film firmly rooting itself in nostalgia. Indiana Jones, the character, needs to move on, but Indiana Jones, the franchise, won't let him. Overall, after this was released at the film festivals where the critics completely bomb this movie, they're in full panic over the possible flop that they're looking at here. And, you know, I gotta say, at $300 million, you're spending way too much to make these movies. Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers, spent $100 million, and they're well past $1 billion on the market now, which is absolutely amazing for Illumination. And we'll have to keep watching to see what other video game movies come out after that. Indiana Jones is in trouble again, but this time it's not snakes, ancient curse, poison, or a corrupt government. It's the fans themselves. No, it's the critics. The critics are saying it's bad. I suspect it's going to be bad. Harrison Ford returning for his role as Dr. Jones. This will be his last film with the franchise, but it seems Ford's farewell from the franchise may not be pleasing to fans. A report from Hollywood Insider Overlord DVD has now indicated that Disney has tested 6 different endings to the movie and that the audiences aren't happy with any of them. Some rumors are swirling that Disney is even considering sending the movie straight to Disney Plus in fear that it will flop in the theaters. That $300 million. You cannot tell me you are making positive impacts with Disney Plus, especially with inflated numbers that they've been caught doing. There's class action lawsuits against them from shareholders over the inflated numbers that they sat there and manipulated. And just so you guys know what I'm talking about, in Variety, former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, current CFO, named in shareholder lawsuit alleging fraudulent streaming statements. This is ongoing with Disney Plus, where they put out numbers, and apparently those numbers were not true. Same sort of thing that I think we saw with Hasbro and Magic the Gathering, where they've had year after year after year of growth, but when you look at the numbers, you go, the numbers don't add up. Well, either way, where this movie lands, it's Harrison Ford back on the big screen. I personally am a fan of Harrison Ford. I've liked a lot of his work, but I feel for the guy because this is not where he should be going out for these characters. Like when they kill them off in Star Wars: A Force Awakens, you kind of went, "Oh, that sucks." You kind of bought into it a little bit, and then they just his death in that movie was the leading point for the death of Star Wars, Lucasfilms, and Disney. Anyway, if you guys like this video, do hit the like, subscribe, do all those fun things of YouTube. I've been your proud Canadian Phoenix, Cinder Shadow. Don't forget to come back very soon.